The first rates, the Nifty and the Sensex will come up. 23,300 is where we are at, 73,615. These are first rates which are coming through for both those indices. The Bank Nifty is down 1/3%. Large part, I'm assuming the substantial portion of the cut that we're seeing in the Nifty Bank is, of course, all Kotak Mahindra Bank. Axis should be pulling in the other direction. The new shares of in Vodafone Idea being listed today, and the first trades on that also we'll have up on the screen. Mid and small caps, as indices have been pretty strong over the last couple of days, and we'll see where they go as well. Vodafone is starting under 13 rupees, 12.6 or so is where we're at. Mid caps are flat, and I think the small cap index is also starting out absolutely flat. But Sonia is here with more rates. Sonia.
Well, thanks a lot for that. I want to start off with Axis Bank, right? Because over there, I think there's some amount of support that we're getting from Axis Bank this morning. Look at that, 3% higher now. The core revenue, the asset quality has definitely surprised. The loan growth is very healthy at 14%. So that's something the street has liked. Kotak Mahindra Bank is the one that sort of, it's really under a lot of pressure right now. So 9% knockdown on Kotak Mahindra Bank this morning, down almost 170 odd points. If you've joined in late, the RBI has asked Kotak Mahindra Bank to stop issuing new credit cards and onboarding new customers through its online and mobile banking channels. Another stock that perhaps could be under pressure and has been for a while is HUL. So that one is down almost 1.5% right now. And that, I think, is also, some of these stocks are also dragging the advanced decline ratio because of the performance that we've seen. Well, LTI Mindtree has been a disappointing set of numbers as well. Look at that, 2% lower. So we have lots of numbers that have disappointed the street today. Indian Hotels, on the flip side, though, has been a very strong set of numbers. Best quarter four ever. Revenues are up 17%. Margins are up nearly 200 basis points. But this is a stock that has rallied substantially in the last 6 to 8 months. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Apart from that, you have Syngene, which is at a multi-quarter high. The earnings have improved for Syngene. The stock is just a bit lackluster this morning. Macrotech developers, real estate has come back into action in a huge way. So almost 2.5% higher on Macrotech developers, almost inching towards that 1,300 rupee mark now. Strong guidance, they're expecting a 20% growth going forward. Now, today you have a whole host of numbers that will come out. There's ACC, Tech Mahindra, Bajaj Finance, IndusInd Bank, that all will be reporting their earnings. So we're just going to get the stocks one by one to show you what the street is looking at ahead of their numbers. Some acquisitions as well. Happiest Mind will acquire Pure Software Tech, so keep an eye out on that. And our colleague Nimesh just told us about Bharat Forge, so I want to get that stock up on board. Look at it, 4% higher now. There's a double upgrade that has come in from BofA Securities with a target price of 1450, which is a big upside to the current market price. So all in all, you'd have to say the market, the Sensex is now just below that 74,000 mark. The Nifty just hanging at 22,350. Not a bad opening, you'd have to say. Given the kind of run-up that this market has seen, this is just a bit of consolidation. Back to you.
All right, Sonia, thanks a lot for that. Well, I'm focusing on a couple of more banking names. MAS Financial, Abhishek told us those numbers were super. The stock is up close to around 5%. So big up move is what we're seeing out there. DCB Bank, we just spoke to the management. They're sounding very, very confident. They're saying they're doubling their asset book in the last few years. And in the next 3.5 years, they're expecting it to double. Margins as well at around 3.65 to around 3.7%. And the return ratio, well, they're expecting to go to around 1% in the next 3 to 4 quarters. So the street likes those numbers. That's building on to the gains. Abhishek sends us another important point in terms of market capitalization. He says that Axis Bank market cap is now higher than Kotak Mahindra Bank because both those two are moving in opposite directions. So just keep an eye out on that stock. Moil, yesterday the stock traded well in the green today as well. It's building on to those gains. So good going out there. Sterlite Technologies, one of those other stocks that are trading with very, very high volumes. So keep an eye out on that one as well, moving higher in the initial few minutes of trade. And some of these sugar stocks as well are coming back in favor. You have Sri Renuka Industries, that's up close to around 3.5%. It's coming up as one of the top volume movers, so that's why highlighting that name. On the flip side, NMDC Steel, well, that stock is under some pressure. It's down close to around 1%. One of the top volume movers in today's trading session as well. CSB Bank as well, building on gains up 2.5%. Indian Hotels, numbers look good, but the stock comes in for profit taking. And as we mentioned earlier, Dalmia Bharat, well, the street was positioned for weak numbers. The stock opened up with a cut of around 4%. Now it's down just around 1.5%. So some bit of short covering is what we're seeing on that name. Prashant.
No, absolutely. Pull up the Nifty, which is down 60 points. So, it's neither here nor there kind of a start. It's lower, but, just 1/3% or so. That's about it. So not really anything very large. Kotak, of course, is the big drag. 10%, 1660 or so is where Kotak Bank is at. Just look at Idea, right? Those shares got listed. The low today on Idea is 11 rupees and 80 paisa, and it's basically moved a full 1 rupee from the lows of the day, and now getting back to almost about 13 rupees. So that initial, I mean, actually, of course, yesterday it was down about 9.5 odd percent. A lot of the ARB guys, etc., would have sold in yesterday and this morning. Mostly, I'm assuming this morning. Volumes are very, very, of course, large with these new shares which are coming through. So that's the picture on Idea. Lots of interest around this one. Look at that on Idea. Big recovery from the lows of the day. It's a very strong, big green candle. Nilesh was telling us about Bharat Forge, right? The double upgrade, 1400 plus kind of price target from Bank of America. It's Bharat Forge is the second biggest volume-led gainer for about 500,000 shares now. So stocks are up 3.6, 3.7%. BSC, day before yesterday, it had a massive 10% move. Yesterday cooled off. It's up another 1.5% right now. Nippon India Mutual Fund is up about 4%. Again, very large volume. Stocks at about 606, 607. Moil is up another 2%. Nigel was highlighting this name yesterday. It was up 2.5% yesterday, another 2% this morning. Sterlite Tech is up about 4%. It's got strong volumes as well. And something like a Z has come up, right? Z is up about 2%. Stocks 143. But then it's come to 143, 145 many a times and then sold off. So we'll see if this move is here to stay. What else? I mean, in the broader market, I mean, I think this is about it for now. I think the others we mentioned, Tata Consumer is down another 2% right now, 1,089 right now. Titan is down about 1%. On the downside, AG's Logistics, which has had such a large rally recently, that's starting about 1.25% lower. And there is something like a Phoenix Limited, which is down about 3.5%, 4%. So stocks at about 3072, and it's got volumes to go for it right in the word go.